Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show, where we cover all the major news you need to know about. Well, there's definitely a lot of news today, let me tell you. You got a Ukraine deal that it's emerging. We'll break that one down. More food stamp frauds. Yes, that's still going down as well. ICE raids spark exodus in Charlotte. Work sites are going, well, let's just say there's not much work happening on these construction sites and work sites. We're going to break everything down for you today, folks. But before we do so, make sure that you head over to baldbrad.com. It is our website. We created it ourselves. I know, believe it or not. You're like, Brad, it looks like you created it yourself, you numbskull. Well, we have a blog, we have a book, we have a lot of goodies over there for you that we would love for you to check out. It is the holiday season, so if you're confused about what to get your loved one, I can help you really quick. We have a book called Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. You're seeing it right there. If you head over to the website, baldbrad.com, BALDBRAD.com, and you click buy here, you can, in fact, get yourself a copy. I would imagine, now I don't control this, but I would imagine that over on Amazon, the publisher will put a Black Friday deal up for a purchase of the book. You can get hardcover, you can get print. And if that's not enough, if you really want to spoil your loved one or a friend or family member, you can get them some shirts here. It doesn't all have to be Bald Brad. These are American Patriot shirts. I wear specifically this one, the 1776 one down there. That's the one, if you see the logo on my chest, that is the one that I'm always sporting. It is my favorite one. And you got to head over there and get it before it'll take some time to get that shipment out to you, depending on where you live. But I know a few of you sport the brand. Always appreciate you. Thank you so much. And well, with that being said, I don't have any funny stories to tell you in the morning. Yesterday was actually a really nice day for me. We're heading into the holiday weekend, which is nice. I was walking like a penguin. I guess I was walking a little bit like Chuck Schumer yesterday. I went running about 4.5 miles because I actually signed up for my first ever 10K, and I'll be able to do it. But I was trying to push myself a little bit. Really nice day for me. So yeah. So my legs are sore is what I'm trying to tell you. Daddy's legs are a little bit sore. So, well, there was a Ukraine deal that allegedly is maybe in the works. Kind of hard to tell. But we're going to break that down for you real quick. But before we do so, can you guys make sure you hit that that like and subscribe button for me? It'd be greatly appreciated. And well, with that being said, we're going to be looking at this article right here. So let me put it up on my other screen for me. Make sure everything is working there well. You guys can see everything. I see you. You see me. Well, we have here this peace deal, allegedly, peace in Ukraine, that kind of broke yesterday. And there's about 3 huge stories you got to know about this. The first one is the Trump administration reportedly is nearing a deal with Vladimir Putin's Russia to end the war in Ukraine. They're describing the deal in this article as a 20-point framework, focusing not only on Ukraine, but specifically the border security architecture of Europe. The key details of this whole thing, if you kind of parse through Axios and all these other links here and other websites that are also covering the story, is the U.S. Special Envoy, Steve Witkoff, and the Russian envoy, Dmitriev, I think is how you say his name. Well, they met in Miami and spent a couple days crafting this bad boy. And part of the blueprint reportedly involves asking Ukraine to make territorial concessions. This should not be any shock to anybody. I know it will be for some of the Democrats. Like, oh my God, how could they give up their land? Because Russia will just take it from them. It's that simple. There's still things that are very archaic, very well known in war, that when you just go to war with somebody, whoever wins kind of gets the territory. That's why the Mexicans are still freaking out over California being ours. Oh, well, you stole our land, or Texas, right? You stole our land. No, we fought for it and we won. And in some cases, you sold it to us. But they'll still complain. So we've been saying this for years, at least since it started, the whole thing, that they're going to lose their land, at least some of it. Trading land for security guarantees, and that's huge, by the way. But here's the snag that people are calling out. Ukraine and major European allies must be on board, otherwise it falls apart. And Kiev has signaled it won't accept any short or full sovereignty and control. So, once again, Kiev, for some reason, and I don't have the answer for you folks, thinks that they hold all the cards. But they don't. It would be different if, like, they're doing this all on their own and they're advancing or maybe even losing land. And it's like, okay, I get it. Like, you're doing most of this on your own. And some people would make that argument that they are, but not really. Because if it wasn't for us, and I would say even now Europe, you'd have your bleep pushed in big time. This all matters because obviously if this deal happens, it marks a huge shift in moving from this long war of attrition to a diplomatic settlement. And for us conservatives, that means one of two things, man. That means that there's a huge win for America first, peace building, or a risky trade of principles for quick resolution. So this looks like it's moving in the right direction. If Donald Trump gets this done, man, this would probably be the most peace we've had, I would say, in my lifetime. Because then you wouldn't, I mean, I'm not saying there's not these small conflicts going around the world. There's always small conflicts. But to this level, I'm trying to think really the last time where it was just like quiet. Where everybody was just getting along in air quotes. So, you know, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. The other one we have down here is snap, waste, fraud, and abuse. You're going to love this one. So, while the world is watching Ukraine and Russia, that whole deal happening, here in the United States, Donald Trump and his administration are eyeing a major overhaul of supplemental nutrition assistance program, and thank God. This story surfaced in the same briefing that the government is preparing changes to food aid systems amid fraud concerns and budget strain. We have covered this before, and a lot of people are wanting a massive reform. And I'm talking about, I believe it was the agriculture secretary where she's at, there she is, saying, hey, these people need to reapply and everything. Yeah. It's amazing how much the government does for the American people without any evidence. It always blows my mind that all of us, if we were to run a company, a business, you know, you got to get audited for certain things. It blows my mind that if we don't pass the audit, we don't get said thing we want. Maybe it's a loan from the bank, or maybe we don't get the disclosure that we want, meaning the piece of paper that tells us, oh, there's, you know, certain material fraud or there's certain material errors, whatever. But the government gets to do it. So, for example, if you kind of, this is a very silly analogy, but it totally works. If you look into unemployment, for example, because the unemployment numbers came out, or they're expecting, you know, a lower unemployment numbers to come out for September. I think they actually might be coming out today or something like that. When you look at the unemployment, it's just people that are currently not working, but they're actively looking for work. And you got to ask yourself, well, how do they calculate something like that? No, they just talk to somebody. That's it. Yeah, it's just calling you up on the phone and going, hey, you unemployed? Yep. You looking for work? Yep. Cool. Thank you. See you later. Bye. That's how they do it. Now, I'm oversimplifying it, but that's pretty much how they do it. And so when you ask and go, well, how do they show that they're actively looking for work? Like, where's the receipts on that? Or you're just going to take their word for it that they're just looking for work for 20 years they've been looking for work. Yeah. The answer is yes. They just take their word for it because our government is stupid. Stupid people do stupid things. This is insane. Look at this program. Rollins, who's the agriculture secretary, but most notably, her department is requiring current food stamp recipients to reapply for benefits. Currently, about 43 million people. Finally, they corrected it. You know, the Daily Wire's been saying Americans. It's 43 million people, not Americans. There's a lot of illegal immigrants on this thing, are in the SNAP program. About 12% of the population is on SNAP. And it costs taxpayers about $100 billion annually. Whenever they throw these numbers out there, because it's the government doing it, in my mind, I sometimes double it. For example, Gavin Newsom is doing a remodel. I don't know if it's a remodel or like what's the word? Like you're refurbishing the Capitol here in California, and it was supposed to only cost. I think it was like I should say only. It's going to cost like $500 million to do it. It's now. Let's go to the chat here really quick. Does anybody want to guess how much it is now? The Capitol in California was originally about $500 million. And you kind of know what it should be, because I told you, rule of thumb with government, you kind of just do something with the numbers really quick, and you'll know what it's going to cost you. If you said $1.6 billion now, you'd be right. You'd be really, really right. They love wasting our money. It's not their money. I mean, a part of it is, but they just love wasting our cash, don't they? They love it. Well, there's actually a clip here. Let me see if I can find it of this happening. I did retweet it on X. Let me see if I can get this going for y'all really quickly. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help support the show. If it didn't, I wouldn't ask you guys to do it. Here we go. Here she is. Make sure I get the right screen for you.
The problem is you have an extremely corrupt program, but up until this administration and with President Trump's direct focus on this and making sure every taxpayer dollar is spent appropriately, we've never really had the opportunity to dig in. So we're going to be talking a lot more about SNAP reform. We've got a lot of people listening now, which is very, very helpful, and to take that program back to its original intent of helping those who are truly needy in our communities, but not to have a massive welfare benefit where so many people are taking advantage of it that shouldn't be. The problem is,
now, that doesn't mean Trump's going to do this right. The people need to show receipts that they're actively looking for work. Now, what that looks like, I don't know, because you don't want to put on the backs of the employer. They didn't do anything wrong. That's time away from running their business. You might go, well, Brad, why would the employer need to have involvement in any of this? Like, say the receipt was, well, you need to fill out an application. Okay, so you go online, you print off a bunch of applications, you do a couple, and that's your submitted paperwork for getting SNAP benefits. You never actually turn them in. I think actively looking for work is sitting down and actually getting interviews. Now, here's the thing. How do you know they did an interview? You'd want somebody to sign off on that, and the sign off would be the business. So maybe that would have to be it. Like, oh, well, as long as you get so many interviews in a month, because then it's taking your time out of your day, right? You have to drive down there. You got to actually sit through the interview. And then you get a piece of paperwork where the employer actually signs off in the business with their code and everything, something like that. Then you submit the paperwork. And by the way, I think you should have to submit every 6 months. Every 6 months, you should have to resubmit. If it were up to me, I would say every month. Oh, yeah, you got to reapply for your SNAP benefits. Now, the reason why it's not realistically every month, because the government sucks, the government's slow, and I kind of like the way the government is slow. But this whole idea that you're just raking in thousands of dollars a year for multiple generations, you've never held a job in your life, it's bewildering to me. It really, really is. It's kind of upsetting at the same time. So you also have her speaking here on November 12th, a couple weeks ago, talking about how 5,000 dead people receive these SNAP benefits as well.
and 20 plus others did not, and we're suing. We're in a litigation right now. But of the 29 that complied, what we have found is staggering. 500,000 people getting benefits 2 times under the same name. 5,000 dead people.
80% of the able-bodied Americans, meaning they can work, they don't have small children at home, they're not taking care of an elderly parent, they can work and they choose not to work, of course, because they're getting significant benefits from the taxpayer. So this light, Laura, that has now been shined on what is perhaps one of the most corrupt, dysfunctional programs in American history, that we are working now. Very big announcements coming next week on this. We are cracking down. We now have a plan to fix it, and we're really, really excited about doing that for the American people.
I think Dave makes a great point over there at YouTube. Says, meanwhile, I get job offers several times a week while not even looking. Yes. You know what's crazy is I haven't done public accounting in a decade. 10 years. I quit 10 years ago, public accounting. I still get recruiters reaching out to me. Even now, without 10 years of experience, they're still willing to take me, or at least get an interview in. It's just, I just don't understand it. I still get job offers for things still now. And like you said, without even looking, sometimes I'll reach out, do an interview here or there, see what's going on. But crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, let's see what else we have here for the news. We'll get some more video clips for you guys in just one moment. Again, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, we do this each and every morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let us know if you're new here. I know there's a lot of lurkers, a lot of people kind of just hang out in the background. We're trying to grow the show, so if you hit that thumbs up button down there, or on your phone or your Kindle, or I don't know what the hell you guys watch this stuff on, it gets our show out there, and it shows interaction between the show and the audience, and that's exactly what they want to see, and it's helpful. Alrighty, so that was SNAP benefits. Again, there's also this here. You have a 2024 survey of income and program participation analyzed by the Center of Immigration Studies shows that even though SNAP is restricted to applicants with legal status, they always say that, don't they? Potentially up to 4.5 million illegals are using SNAP. This is especially alarming since illegals are already permitted to use WIC, which is another welfare program that's a little more restrictive. My question is that could they be double dipping? And then are you in the realm at that point of actually bringing in more money than American workers are? That'd be my question. CIS also found 47% of all non-citizen households receive taxpayer-funded food assistance. That is bonkers. I would say in statistics, if you're seeing things in this realm, this is explosive. In accounting, I mean, we're looking at if you're seeing deviations and changes of like 10% or whatever, this is wild. This is fall over in your chair insane. And generally, 60% of illegal immigrant households use at least one major welfare program. I need to be clear. I am not in the slightest bothered by helping people. But for how long do you have to do it? And people have said, and this is a silly thing, but I'm just telling you what they've said. I'm a small channel, so there's not many people saying this, to be fair. That, maybe you should run for California, Brad, or you should run for like some political office in California, clean it up. Hell no, by the way. And also, I'm a conservative. They would never take me in California anymore. But, I've thought about, like, if that were to happen, how would I do it? Like, I always complain that the streets are dirty. There's just homeless everywhere. Well, one, I'd stop doing all these incentives and say, hey, and then I'd find out what is their home state, and I'd start sending them back to their home state is what I would do, and their home state can take care of them. Like we're busting illegals everywhere. You saw from Doug Ducey, Greg Abbott, and Ron DeSantis. So I would do that with the homeless. It's not like we just drop them off in the middle of nowhere. You drop them off at a shelter in their home state. You find out where they live. You actually find out who they are. They could be illegal. Guess what you do with them? You deport them. You're kind of killing two birds with one stone. So you get them out of here. And then you also call on the local churches to, once a month, like, hey, why don't you get out and do some community service out there? That's what churches are for, is to help the community, not just with their faith, of course, but with their actions. Dude, when I was in church, I was always doing community service, tearing up asphalt, redoing concrete, going and trimming some lady's trees. I was always out there in the community in Long Beach doing stuff. You don't ever see churches do that much anymore. going out picking up trash. I mean, there were so many. We would sand down people's houses and paint them again. You know, reach out to all these fraternities, sororities, get them out doing a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of free labor you could do. These idiots over in Capitol Hill would just love to just pay people for it. No. There's a lot of charity that people want to be able to do. You just got to give them an opportunity. You know, Disneyland, believe it or not, Disney used to give you free Disneyland tickets if you go and did community service for like, I think it was 8 to 10 hours or something like that. You got a free Disneyland ticket. I think that was a great thing by Disney. Get people out there. They'll do something in exchange for something else. So that's what I would do. Get the churches out there helping again. There's some good people. And y'all remember I said, hey, when Trump was running, we should all be in MAGA hats like this down here, in the red MAGA hats, and just start going in the Democrat era. I'm talking thousands of us all wearing Make America Great Again red shirts and red MAGA hats in there cleaning up Democrat areas. Do you understand matter of fact, I got a person that works in the White House for JD. I'm going to text that idea. And I'm not kidding, by the way. The optics of that would be hilarious. And you know what the tagline is? MAGA cleans up what Democrats can't. There you go. MAGA cleans up what Democrats can't. I'm going to write that down. Damn, that's good. Damn, that's good. I gotta hold on a second. I'm by the way, I'm as serious as a heart attack. I'm sending that after the show here. Hold on a second. Where are we at here? This is very unprofessional. MAGA cleans up what Democrats can't. Dude, go to the chat. What do you think about that idea? I talked about it before, but that's the headline. Getting out there in like the scummy of areas and just get the cameras out there. You know what I mean? And just, I'm talking a lot of red hats, dude. Everybody shows up. We're here for community service. We're going to Democrat ran areas. Don't worry. We got you because your own people can't do it for you. The PR. I got goosebumps. The PR of it all. And Trump could get out there and support it. He doesn't have to be there. Today, what we're going to do, we're going to send thousands of MAGA into Democrat-ran cities with trash bags, the dinosaur clippers, and we're going to clean up Democrats' problems because they can't do it themselves. We'll do it for them. You know what I mean? And start getting, just start painting people's houses and shit. You know what I mean? Mowing people's lawns, all the whole bit. Yeah, Scott Pressler. Yep, exactly. But I want it bigger than that, Donnie. Oh, I want it bigger than that. That's what she said. Alrighty. Well, we got another article here. It's a little bit of an update going on with Charlotte, because Charlotte empties after ice raids. People just fled. So in Charlotte, North Carolina, the federal enforcement wave is real, man. The operation tagged Operation Charlotte's Web, and let me tell you, they are flocking out like a web, is part of Trump's era immigration surge. You got massive ICE and CBP activity hitting the city hard, man, over the weekend. And over 20,000 students reportedly missed school Monday amid enforcement fears, which people look at and go, oh, they're so worried about being deported. No, they're not. Some of them are, because their parents are actually illegals. The vast majority are not worried whatsoever. They just wanted to have an excuse to take off school. People, it blows my mind, because when COVID was happening, they're like, oh, well, think about the children. The children want to be back in school. I can tell you without, there's not an ounce in my body. There's not a single speck of sand, a grain of sand, in terms of these students do not want to be in school. They were stoked to be at home playing video games for a long time. They'll find any excuse. Back when I was in school, this was like 06, 07, there was the same immigration stuff going on then. And a bunch of Mexicans left the campus. So did a bunch of blacks and white people. And they went out and protested on the streets down here in Southern California. And I stayed in the classroom. Because I was like, what are you doing, you bunch of idiots? You're not even illegal. You know what I mean? Neither are your parents. I actually know a lot of them, because I hung out with everybody. I hung out with blacks. I hung out with Asians. I hung out with Mexicans. I was kind of one of those guys at lunch that would pop around different tables and hang out with everybody. I didn't have beef with no bun. If you're wondering why I'm not sounding my words correctly, I bit the crap out of my tongue in my sleep. Maybe I'll flap my tongue right here. Is hanging off. It's disgusting. Yeah. Bit my tongue bad, man. So anyways, it hurts. I just have a lisp. Sound like Hakeem Jeffries. But they just don't look at people like, oh my God, the students. They don't care. Don't trust me. They don't care. Any excuse they can get to not be in school, they'll use it. And it's always been like that. We always act stupid. Like, oh, I can't, like they're just scared. No, they're really not scared whatsoever. I mean, these kids will talk crap to a teacher's face. They're not scared of nothing. Let me tell you, they ain't scared of nothing. So they made 81 individual arrests, or detain them at least, in the crackdown, businesses and street disruptions. The administration says it's targeting dangerous illegal aliens, but many nonviolent individuals are being swept, as happens when enforcement is broad. Meaning that, hey, if you go into this area for this criminal, it's one guy, but there's 10 non-criminals around him, but they're illegal aliens. Well, you just nab them all. Now, enforcing immigration law is foundational to this country. Sanctuary cities have pushed back. Local officials resist federal action. And the result is a change to public safety, rule of law. And the ripple effects are that it's missing students, shaking communities, demand we navigate enforcement with both firmness and sensitivity. It's not that you have to be an a-hole when doing all these nabs, but the law's the law, man, and it applies to everybody. So I don't understand what the big deal is. All righty. Well, we got some numbers here for the market. Wages are up. Jobless claims are lower and stocks are rallying. Quote, these numbers do not reflect nervousness in the labor market. Well, not so sure yet. I think it's a little bit too early to tell.
Hours worked, and this is always important. It remains at 34.2. To find a lower number, you're going to January when it was 34.1. And finally, we get U6, the underemployment rate. It was 8.1 our last look. It comes in at 8%. 8% would equal where we were in February. To find a higher number, you're going all the way back to October of 2021. Now, we have initial jobless claims. This is for the week of November 15th. As I said, there's weeks missing. We're expecting 227,000. Comes in at 220,000. These numbers do not reflect nervousness in the labor market. They've been very well behaved. 220,000 would be the lowest level of claims since mid-July. Look at the...
Well, that's kind of nice to see. But they're expecting the job numbers to be lower coming out. And they're a little wonky, but they'll be leaving out the... well, when they're coming out later than usual, I think it's the September jobs numbers because the government was shut down. But they're expecting a little bit lower, and there could be some reactions from that as well. Let's kind of go through some other news here. This is what I also wanted to show you. So Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett's back. I know. That's news. It's news. Jasmine Crockett. So just on the 18th, Crockett listed figures like Lee Zeldin and George W. Bush while criticizing Trump-era Epstein files handling. FEC records confirm that $500 donations to Zeldin came from Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, a physician unrelated to the sex offender who died in 2019. With gifts arriving months later, Crockett later told CNN her phrasing was deliberate after a quick 20-minute search, denying any intent to mislead amid the online mockery and partisan Epstein document fights.
That I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein. That I was clear that
yeah, just a Jeffrey Epstein.
It was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein. That I was clear.
You see her face? Oh boy. Yeah. There you go. Lulu has it full of a bunch of doo-doo. That's for sure. Yes, ma'am. Oh boy, let's go to the comments on this. We have to. Oh, so Riley Gaines is the one that posted this. You're gonna love this. Let's check this out. I wonder why Representative Jasmine Crockett wants to stop Elon Musk and Doge from exposing government corruption. Salaries 174,000. Isn't that wild for these people not to do anything? Net worth $9 million. Property, she has a $2 million townhouse, $1.5 million loft, and a $1.5 million lakefront cabin. Going from rag to riches, man. While we're all just trying to, do our thing. Just because someone has committed a crime doesn't make them a criminal. That can't be a real quote, can it? I don't know what to believe anymore. That can't be a real quote, is it? E.T. Yes. E.T. 4615. Exactly. She's psychotic. Yes, sir. Yes, sirree. Oh, she is. Oh, she is so psycho. Wow. Let me guess your question. Jeez, dude. People are so ruthless on the internet, man. People are mean. Like this stuff. Oh my gosh. This is the stuff people are posting, man. It's so mean. That's ruthless, dude. Oh man, that's funny though. Milo is in the news again, this guy. Milo Yiannopoulos, known as Nero on X, sparked outrage yesterday, or I guess today. This is breaking. Never mind. Breaking 30 minutes ago. By arguing, let's see what he says here. Severely obese individuals like Couch don't belong in public gyms. Is Couch the guy's name? Couch's motivational video showed his progress on the starting strength program, refining his form and hitting a big lift despite his size. Critics called it body shaming that could discourage beginners, while supporters pushed for dieting first or home workouts. The post drew over 160,000 views, revealing sharp divides on gym inclusivity and fitness journeys. Well, let's see what's going on here from this guy. So it says, hey, y'all. His last name's Couch. All right, Eric Couch. I'm thinking like, yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know. Should we have couches in gyms? That's a little weird. I guess you need a place to sit down, but then it gets all stinky because people are sweaty and stuff like that. It says, hey, y'all, my name is Eric. I'm 47 years old, 370 pounds. Well, how tall are you is the other question. I've been lifting for 40 days now, currently running the starting strength NLP. Today, I deadlifted 245 pounds. I've been working hard on my form, making sure to catch water with my back instead of rounding. Okay. My grip is getting better each workout. Being severely obese has its limitations, but it's not using that as an excuse. All right. Well, let's see what's going on here. Okay. I personally don't have any problem with this guy in the gym. I think this is great. But by the way, yeah, he's obese. Technically, I'm obese. So I'm about 5'10". If you were to look at me, you would just see an athletic build. I don't look obese by any measure. I mean, you guys have seen photos of me like full body with like Jenny and Frank over there at Beach and Seal Beach. Yeah. So I don't think this guy looks terrible. I mean, let me pause like where we can actually see here. He obviously is carrying a ton of weight around his gut, but not so much in the legs. There's definitely some, fat here and his head, but this is where he carries it, which kind of sucks because that's the hardest to lose. But I have no qualms with this guy in the gym. I guess my question would be is, diet it is true. Diet is extremely important. If you could just drop, you will lose 20 pounds in the first, I would say 2 months easy, depending on what his diet was like before. But if you just track your macros, your proteins, your fats, and your carbs, and you get that dialed in by weighing your stuff, and you'll, especially obese people, you will melt the fat off extremely, extremely fast. Like, for example, I don't know, I doubt anybody could tell. You guys see me every day, but I was 215 at the end of August. I have lost 20 pounds since August. So August, September, October, November. So about 2.5 months, I've lost 20 pounds. And my goal is to lose another 15. And you do that through running, you do that, but that wasn't like an easy climb, man. This is actually the most out of shape I've ever been in my life. I don't go to a gym. Well, that's not true. I do go to a gym, but not every day, and I don't deadlift. I have no problems with this. What do you guys think? Yeah, I lost 10 pounds quitting soda. Exactly. Who said that? Who are you? God, the chat sometimes goes way too fast for me. I lost 10 by quitting soda. It comes from Dave. Yeah. If you just cut out certain things like sugars, for example, it's just gonna come off you like no other. Let's do this. There we go. So what are people saying about this? I figured I'd put the disclaimer in there before all the "you should be lifting more weight" crowd chimes in. He's having fun with it. It's good for this guy. Says, good job, keep going, great job, man. Yeah, okay, well, what's going on in Milo's post? I don't even know why Milo would mention this. I think the guy's killing it. This is great. And by the way, when I see like heavyset people running, which I do, every time I go running, I see a bunch of obese people running. I get inspiration from that. You know what I mean? If I just get inspiration when I see other people run. It's like, okay, like I'm one of those that if somebody else is doing it, it's a very bad mindset, and I've worked on it my entire life. For example, when I was in school and I saw that somebody was playing video games, and they went to school with me, they're in the same classes, and I'm like, well, we have a test tomorrow. Well, if you're not studying, it gave me assurance, I guess is maybe the word, or the allowance to play video games as well, not study. I've always been like that. If I see somebody else doing something that they doing something else than other than what they should be doing, then I kind of take that as like, oh, I don't need to do that either. It's a very bad mentality. So that's why I've always loved there's other people working out with me. And then I just go hard to paint on the workout. I love it. All right, let's see what people are saying. An athlete won't judge you for working out. Correct. I played hockey for like 25 years, man. Meaning I was in the gym a lot. I was working out a lot every morning for like 20 years or at night. A millionaire won't judge you for starting. This is so true. A musician won't judge you for trying to sing a song. It's always the people going nowhere who have something to say. That is a quote, man. That is a hell of a quote. Let me zoom in. It's really hard to see. There we go. It's a good quote. Yeah. I like seeing people seek a better life. There you go. Blackbird has it. Yes. Totally true. There you go. Mahila says, at least he's trying to lose weight. Yeah, doing something. Look, everybody, it doesn't bother me. Everybody knows Milo can be an a-hole. I don't mind Milo. I think he says some things that a little off for sure. I don't have to agree with everything he says. I don't know the guy. Well, I really don't know anybody, so I know you guys. I like to keep it that way. Megan Hawkins says that's where obese folks should be. Yes, sir. Trying to get their health in shape. Dude is trying to motivate others like him. He's doing a damn good job. Besides, he's not going to the women's locker rooms. That's a lot of good points in one comment, man. I damn right. I have high respect for a man trying to do better and improve himself and steward his body. I have low respect for a man who desires to shame the former man. Yeah. And by the way, I believe Milo is, well, I don't know if he's a Christian. I thought he converted to Christianity or like came to, a moment with Jesus. But you don't I mean, the scriptures say you don't want to cause your brother to stumble. You want to uplift them. So it's kind of like, and I've talked about this in the past, we're in a society, and Christians do this all the time, and it blows my mind, is that some guy will be ousted, right, on the internet for doing something stupid. This could be like beating the crap out of his girlfriend or his wife, maybe sending nudies to people and then getting caught by it, or I'm trying to think of things that have been on the internet. I don't search out people's drama all too much. These are just things I've seen like Asmongold talk about on other people and stuff like that. Doesn't matter. I personally, we shouldn't obviously beat the crap out of women, or anybody. You should keep your hands to yourself. And then, the pictures and all these other things, like people are into some weird freaky deaky stuff, man. Hey, I got no judgment on you. My job is to not go out in public and go, oh, shame, 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 shame. It's to say, hey, behind closed doors, let's pray for you. Let's fix the mistake. Did you learn from it? Give a second chance. How can you, better yourself? Blah, blah, blah. Obviously, the guy that's beating his wife is going to jail. That's where you serve your time, your debt to society. But I'm talking about, on the side is, hey, rather than beating somebody down, why don't you try to uplift them a little bit and guide them through life so they can better themselves and be on the right track. Some people need that. And you have to be a vessel to have the angels in the heavens work through you so they can reach that person. You always hear these stories of like, oh, somebody saw an angel or somebody's voice spoke to me. Most of the time, God doesn't work that way. God will put people in front of you and in your life to help guide you in the most efficient manner. But he needs a vessel to do that. If you look through I'm talking literally from Genesis to Revelation, all 66 chapters of the Bible, God has always used people, flesh, human beings, as a vessel to have himself or his prophets or his angels work through to help guide people in the way that need to be guided in the most efficient manner. And so we need to be those vessels that help people. You don't go on the media and start exposing people's sins and doing all this other stuff. Now, I expose people's idiocracy. I suppose there is sinful things that are idiotic, but it's mostly things they say and do, so we don't get manipulated ourselves. How is he supposed to not look like that without a gym? Well, to be fair, you don't have to go to a gym to do that. I've seen a lot of people, homeless people that are jacked, man, that look like pro wrestler jacked because all they do is work out all day. So it looks like a lot of people don't agree with Milo. And I don't agree with him either. You should not be in a public gymnasium looking like this. That's sad. That's sad. Maybe Milo will change his mind. Not too sure. What is this here? Libs at TikTok just posted this. Trans clinic in South Africa, which was funded by USAID, forced to shut down after Trump shut down USAID. This is exactly what we voted for. A trans clinic in South Africa was where our money was going.
Our trans community, they come from different parts of the world.
She's showing us around what was a clinic for trans people in central Johannesburg.
Wow, it was big.
It's big. Then this used to be our pharmacy.
And so this has all gone away.
The clinic was funded by USAID and it was a lifeline for more than 1,000 transgender people until it was forced to shut down after President Trump closed the aid agency earlier this year.
As soon as Trump was inaugurated, basically, as soon as he came back into office,
within like a week, he just decided that he wants nothing to do, more especially with LGBTQI plus people, and more especially his said transgender community.
That is a man. Yes. Just listen to that statement. Where's it at? He just said he didn't want anything to do with the LGBTQI plus people anymore. No. He wanted our tax dollars not to go to other countries for stupid crap like this. We got our own problems. Your buildings look nicer than our classrooms, dude.
Plus people, and more especially his said transgender community.
Adwa is a trans woman who worked at the clinic.
Shocker, dude. Whoa. We had no idea. Because, remember, you're told that you can't tell. Yeah, you actually weren't, you did not know that. None of us knew in here that this was a man. We were told, we were all fooled. How about the second we saw the jawline, the brow line, the huge hands, right? The broad shoulders. Those might have been some giveaways, just a few. And then when the thing started talking, oh boy, we got it big time. The Adam's apple, the thick neck, right?
She's also HIV positive and depended on the clinic for care. Bane.
Nuts, man. It's nuts. Now you're wondering, Brad, was there other news? This is the news. There's really not much going on. I already covered all of it. It's a slow news week. And I actually have fun going through video clips with you guys and hanging out. I mean, that's what the stream's about, right? Mamdani has no clue he's funding his free bus campaign promise. What?
When you're talking about fast and free buses and you're meeting with the governor, I've heard you talk about many times that you don't want to take money away from the MTA. You want to put money back in. It's something that she agrees with, right? We don't want to take away money from the MTA. How are you getting that money, the $700 million to make the buses free, into the MTA if she's not for raising taxes?
You know, I think that the two clearest ways to raise that money is through the raising of the state's corporate tax to match that of New Jersey. I think that a lot of this is still a case to be made. Whether it's the corporate tax or whether it's the personal income tax on those who make more than $1 million a year or more, I think that these are the clearest ways. I've also said that if there are other ways to raise this funding, the most important fact is that we fund it, not the question of how we do it, but that we do it.
And the other one, you're talking about fast and free buses.
It's called fast and free buses. I'm going to say this again. Fast, debatable. Free, also debatable. Not really. If it's free, ma'am Donnie, why do you need to increase the taxes? It's free. I'm perplexed. I'm confused. It's free. He doesn't know what to do because he's a Nepo baby. The guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what's going on. I know we're not shocked. What else does Libs at TikTok have? Libs at TikTok's always killing it. Let's do a couple more things. What the hell is this? Couple who own a plumbing company in Michigan charged for Oh, yeah. I wanted to show you guys this. There is an article on this. I knew I was forgetting something. Allegedly hiring and harboring hundreds of illegals and raking in $74 million while money laundering as well. Look at this. It's better than an article, man. We get the actual news clips. This is ABC 7 News. If it's ABC 7, this is in ABC 7. I thought ABC 7 was California. Well, we'll see.
Business in question that has a Metro Detroit couple in hot water with federal investigators.
It's not just simply an immigration case that's charged, it's also money laundering.
And these are the federal documents investigators say detail the inner workings of the plumbing empire built by Moises Orduña Rios and his wife Raquel over a 5-year period. The Plymouth Township couple owned Orduña Plumbing, Manpower Supply, and allegedly hired undocumented workers, took their passports, and crammed them into tight living quarters. These photos from the criminal complaint. The federal complaint focuses on Rochester, New York, but Michigan, Ohio...
Hold on a second. Tight living quarter. I lived in a room this size for like 26 years. What do you mean tight living quarters? A desk, a freaking bed. Oh, give me a break.
The federal complaint focuses on Rochester, New York, but Michigan, Ohio, and North Carolina are also mentioned as places the company operates. According to the complaint, out of 253 workers, only 6 were in the U.S. legally and permitted to work. The complaint claims the husband and wife generated $74 million in their plumbing business that was based out of Michigan.
So whenever you use money that is unlawful and you deposit it into a bank and you manipulate the banking system, that's money laundering. And that's what the government's alleging here.
Former federal prosecutor Matthew Schneider reviewed the 27-page complaint, which mentions investigators interviewing the workers on numerous occasions and the company's use of the WhatsApp messaging app.
In this case, you've got physical evidence, statement of the people arrested, and the government was listening to the communications of the defendants. So you actually have all 3 of those things. And whenever you have a criminal defendant speaking and being recorded, and the government has that evidence, That's extremely powerful, and the burden on that is really hard to overcome.
The company headquarters is in Plymouth Township, where we stopped to see if anyone was present who could speak to the allegations. No one was there. We then went next door.
It's pretty crazy how big the operation was, with very little activity that was there.
Jeff Goebbels, a golf pro, runs his business in an adjacent office space. He said he'd see about 3 people in and out of the office, and he's stunned by the allegations.
Yeah, it's kind of frightening that they could get that deep. It just looked like a normal business that I didn't see a lot of work trucks coming in and out, but that it was that detailed with the immigration issues that are going on today, it's pretty interesting.
The couple
turns out the guy was probably getting money in his back pocket to keep his mouth shut. I'm kidding. That is not part of the news, but come on.
Whose address comes back to this $1.5 million mansion in Plymouth Township were released Tuesday on conditions after appearing in Michigan Eastern District Court. The couple's next court date is scheduled for December 2nd in New York.
You gotta love on the door, it says no soliciting. On the business door, it says no soliciting. Oh my goodness, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Remember the show Kids Say the Darndest Things? Well, adults do the darndest things. Schroeder says, what about the people in the U.S. who have AIDS? I hate that our taxes are going to always help other countries. Sure, a little can, but millions and billions of dollars? Yep. It's crazy. We throw hundreds of billions of dollars worldwide. And it has to stop, man. It has to stop. Other countries have to be able to help themselves. Or we're not the only, there's 193 other countries. They all need to be sending money in a greater proportion than what we are. If we're throwing more money to these other countries than all the 193 other countries are to that one country, there's a problem. They could reach out to other countries if they don't have, but other countries are smart. We're just stupid, like Trump says. We really are. We're just the stupid ones. Oh yeah, what's 100 billion? That's fine. Here you go. Don't worry about it. No, you don't have to pay us back. It's fine. Taxpayers don't care, which is true. We don't care as the taxpayers, because if we did, there'd be more of an uprising. We don't care. Because there's no actual experience. There's no actual feeling of us losing money because you don't see it. If you had the government show up at your door and you had to take out $1,000, multiple Benjamins right in front of them every single day or every single week, I should say every day, but every single year, let's say, you're going through an experience of watching your money leave your hand. But when that never happens because you don't see it physically, it's the same thing with using a credit or debit card. You end up spending money and you don't realize it. So. Well, with that being said, we'll be back here later today for Dark MAGA. It is going to be a short Dark MAGA episode. It's only going to be about 30 minutes. We got some stuff to do. I apologize for that. It's going to be on Rumble Premium only, but for next week, we're going to try to open it up for everybody. Do like a Thanksgiving podcast or something like that. Not on Thanksgiving Day, but you know what I mean. Well, I appreciate everybody that donates to the show. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I did. Thank you to everybody that watches each and every morning. We're going to try to do our best we can here to upgrade the show as time goes on. We got a new cam. Well, not new camera, new lens, and a couple new bells and whistles. So appreciate all of you. Have a blessed day. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for friends and family member and the Patriot community. And with that being said, I will see you next time here on the Bolt Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.